cams that we decided between the two of us which is going to be the best.
Yeah.
And it's, like I said, it's ridiculous, to be honest with you. If you see how small the engine is in compared with the turbocharger.
Yeah. But you guys paid your school fees with this engine, huh?
Yes, yeah.
I mean, how long have you guys been using this
We've been busy with twin cam 4AGs for the last 20 years worth of development into these engines through my dad and myself. We broke a lot of engines, but I think we've got the sweet spot here.
Yeah. You're going to tell me the boost?
Fucking I.
Like if I had to get into the car now, you say, right.
Yeah. Well, you're going to press the clutch in, put it in first gear, and you're going to rev it to launch limiter and at about 8,000.
8,000. You know Hondas go to like 10.
I know.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Welcome, Richard.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me.
Welcome to part 2 of the Speed and Sound Icon series.
We deem you as an icon.
That's awesome. Thank you.
He's probably one of the most well-known drag racers in South Africa. 4 cylinders. You think of Bucky drag racing, I think of Richard Jordaan.
100%.
Yeah.
Synonymous.
Well, that's great
Synonymous, yeah.
I thought I was off the map.
No, not yet. Not yet. I know for a fact that every time we went to an event and Richard Jordaan was entering, we always knew that, oh shit, things going to go down.
We were up for a good entertainment,
Yeah,
definitely.
you guys are always up for a fight, eh? I mean that in a
Always.
respective way. I mean, if you guys entered an event, you guys always put on a good show.
Yes. We'll try our best to be number one, which is not that easy anymore. But yeah, we'll try.
It was always awesome to see your family come out, because every time you came to the track, it was Donna that came out, it was your dad.
Yeah.
It was always like a family thing with you
Yes,
guys.
it was.
And I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
What age did you start at? What was your first introduction to racing?
When I was still a boy, my dad and my uncle, they were doing oval track racing forever. Normal kids at my age, 6, 7, 8 years, will get cars to play with. I had a side draft to play with, strip it, to put it back together and stuff like that. That's how it was. And
So your family was predominantly oval track based?
yes, yeah, we started there.
And then what happened? Just like,
My dad was always into cars and he was building cars and stuff, but there was one specific vehicle that he built up from scratch, which was a Ford Anglia, which he fitted a V6 in. That time it was V6 or V8. It was always aspirated cars. So he fitted a V6 in that car and he done it nice. It was a very nice looking Ford Anglia. And the first day when that car was done, he came to school to pick me up in it. And I will never forget the smell of that new leather and the sound of the car coming around the corner.
Listen, I think as kids, we all wanted our parents to have those kind of brutal, rough, idling cars to fetch me. I wanted a car like that. My parents were bloody boring.
I was picked up in a 4 Granada, 3 litre.
Okay, so you know the beat.
4 Granada with the leather, with the sheepskin seats, wasn't it?
Great.
So you picked you up in an Anglia and then...
Yes, that was where I remember where I was going into whatever he's doing. I want to do this, what my dad's doing.
Jeez.
Yes.
And then you went to oval track.
I didn't do oval track myself. Look, my dad helped my Uncle Donna, and also my nephew. They were oval track
Before.
and they did awesome. Look, my uncle won national championships left, right, and center. Even when they had the world finals here, he won that as well. So he's very, very good in what they've been doing all over the years.
Okay.
And there was a point where my dad broke loose of it and he started just playing around in the streets. That was street racing started for me.
Well, was there a lot of fights in ovals?
Look, yeah, there was a lot of fights. Look, my dad maintained my uncle's car, paintwork and bodywork and stuff. So somebody bumped that car. There was a fight. Look, there was
Ja, daar gaan kak wees.
Ja.
Daar gaan kak wees.
I knew it because I can sit there on the stands and just look into the pits. It's just like, I know as a kid I don't want to go there now. Look, yeah, he wasn't big fights, and he always had. If the guy's a bit of a big guy, he had a torque wrench in his hand. So the guy's either going to run or he's going to stand his boundaries. But Yeah, it never worked out for the other guy. He was well known in the suburbs around us, and people will just rock up at his house
Yes.
and stop there and said, listen, Pete, I heard you've got the fastest V6. I've got the V8 Capri. Do you want to race?
Yeah.
And
There was
that
no
was tough.
SMSs or WhatsApp, guys.
you
It
stopped
was
there.
like a knock on the door.
Yes.
I remember those
As
days.
a kid, I was, okay, well, we're going to go in racing now. And that was great fun.
And tell me something, the
Memories.
racing back then, did it happen on Voortrekker Street still?
No, there by us there, where we stayed here in Pretoria West, that area there. You know, I pretty much came out of a rough area, which is
Yeah.
called Danville.
Yeah.
That's where we grew up, which
Okay.
wasn't that rough at that stage,
Yes.
what it is now. And it was a 2-lane road. We used to went for street racing. And that's where we went. There or it was PMP Highway.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either a robot race or a highway race. And well, that's where it all started. And then from there on, when I became a bit bigger and more knowledgeable, like I said to you, I'm going to, one day at Black Rock, my dad was racing his bucky. It was still a slow bucky, but it was fast for us. Now let me revert. Okay, we need to cut this out. I'm like 16 years old. My dad is playing around with his buckies and stuff and this and that. It was aspirated stuff. And one day he did a few runs and he told me I must take a run in the car and see what I do. And I did a better run than him. And he said, okay, from now on you're driving my car. That's where it started. He had his XR8 after the Engla and the Escorts that he's built. I'm just cutting it short now. He had the V8, original Ford Sierra V8, which he also spent a lot of money on. Look, doing everything himself, like he's done his whole life. And I said to him, Dad, listen here, this bucky that you gave me, I want to turbocharge this thing. Will you help me? So we didn't know what we're doing, actually, turbocharging a car. We were still in a learning phase. You're still learning today. So we took 2 head gaskets, copper tack, put it on to drop the compression. We did issues, a boost manifold for it. And
What motor?
1500 Datsun motor.
When you say 1500, you're talking about the
A15.
A15.
Yes.
Okay, A15.
Yeah. So we've done that and we finished it. Because at that stage it was like 4 to 5 cars in Pretoria that was turbocharged. It was not a lot. It's not a car that you see every day. So I just spoke to a few guys and a few pointers from my uncle because he already turboed one of his buckies. And after we've done that conversion, it was a shitty conversion, but it was done. And we took it in the street for a spin and it was pretty fast. And we went to ODI and I took my bucky, my dad took his XR8 and I will never forget that day. Because he did, I can't remember the exact figures, I'm just going to point out the figure. So he did maybe on the 800 to 180 kilometers per hour with his XR8. And that thing was quite. Look, if it comes back and he spooks out a bit of water, you know it has been driven. And I took a spin with my bucky there and it was only like a bar boost with normal fuel because that's what the engine's going to handle. And I was 2 kilometers per hour slower than my dad's XR8 that he spent a lot of money on. And he said, geez, okay, let's rather start focusing on turbocharged engines. So in a few months, maybe a year or two, we started developing the 1400 engine. That's the time that the Unos came out as well, that period of time.
There wasn't a lot, when we started the magazine back in the 2000s, there was not a lot of turbo cars.
Yes, that's
it was
what I'm
very
saying.
unheard of.
Yeah.
And they were very special. And the
was.
guys were building these kind of turbo cars in their backyards at the time.
Yeah.
And it was like an industry that it exploded after a while.
Yes.
But when you started, I remember that phase of the industry where you saw a turbo car was really special.
It was special.
Yeah.
Because you had to do everything yourself. Look, you had to find a truck turbo or a turbo that will suit that 14 or 1500 from a truck and modify the wheels. And that's what we've done. And you use that converts of that car and that 1400 and whatever the case may be. And at the end of the day, we did on the 800 meter, you had a 200 kilometer per hour club. There was like
I remember that club.
Like,
I remember that club.
200.
On
Yes.
800. But then we were flying, bro.
Yeah. It was a club. Yeah.
There was a 200
Yeah.
kilometer club that you had.
I remember they made stickers. They had little white
Yes,
stickers on their
yeah.
cars.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, how old are you? Really?
Go away.
Okay.
So at that stage, to do a 200 and 800 was pretty fast. Pretty fast, because I can remember when Billy van der Merwe, he's also been in drag racing forever. He did like 216 on 800 with that mini bucky, and I did with the 1400 198. And that was a twin cam 16 valve, and this was a 14 or a 1500 8 valve. So at that stage, it was pretty fast for what we've done. And it was only, like you said, you took stuff that you think is going to work and put it in there and try and hope it's not going to explode.
what was that car's mojo? What made it so quick? I mean, I know you turbocharged it, but what was the Jordaan spice that you chucked
Look, at
into
that stage, we didn't that. Look, what we've done, what my dad, Pete Jordaan, did is, on an aspirated, this is working. So we implemented the aspirated stuff into the turbo stuff and just work from there. You hear what I'm saying? So basically there's the same design of what you do to the crank or conrods or the head.
The basics. So the basics stay the same, yes.
Yes, we stayed the same because we know that's making power on aspirated. So we just transferred it to a turbo car. And that's how we started. We used a Capstar turbo, which was a T2.5 with the issues. And then we went to carburetors, the Delortos 40s. And that's where we started. I would say 2002 to 2005, 6, around about there. We made on a 1800 because that's a stage when we went already starting to experience with 1800 engines, with the 1800 block and crank, which nobody knew about. We
started fiddling with that back then?
Yes,
Jesus.
On the aspirated. So that's what we've
What
done.
car?
I had a GX and I had a 1400 bucky.
Okay.
But I'll get to that now.
Yeah.
So at that stage, we already made 200 power on the wheels. I did my best time at Dalton, a 13.0 at a 175 in, I would say, 2005.
Geez, that's good, eh?
Yes. And at ODI, because with a Potenza, there's kakker traction on Dalton, then at ODI, because the surface is rougher. And at ODI, I did a 12.85 and a 176. I had plenty turbo cars next to me. On the 400, 800 and kilometer, couldn't beat me. A lot. And that was lekker. And then we started putting that whole design that my father designed on 1800 into the turbocharged section. But like over years of experience, you put bigger motor, you leave this turbo size the same. You're not gaining that much power. You're gaining torque, but not the power. Then you need to upgrade.
Where did you drive the bucky?
Black Rock.
Okay.
Yeah, that was, I can't remember. It was early 90s.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happened to Black Rock?
Look, that guy with the Mazda of the S600, that Honda, Koos Turbo, he must have rolled his car there and he passed away. I think there was 2 guys that passed away there.
Was Black Rock the piece of unused highway?
Yes.
There by
there by
Arties?
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
we
well
used to go
supported? A lot of people go there?
There was whenever we apps at that place was always packed to the max. And it was it was just down the road from us. You get onto
Listen,
the highway.
Herbie was a hell of a promoter back in his day.
was, yeah.
I mean, we were introduced to him when we first started in the industry.
Yeah.
And he packed the places.
Yeah, he did.
As difficult as he was, he knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, look, there was never a dull moment there. Always had
No.
trophies. And he could, how can I say, promote on the
Yes.
speakerphone and promote everything.
Yeah.
It wasn't prepped. It was just normal
Yeah,
surface.
normal street, yeah. Normal
But
street.
now Black Rock was, what is it, tar? Or was it concrete? What was it?
Black Rock was tar. Yeah,
Okay.
with a slight turn at the end.
Okay.
Is that where Koos Turbo
Yeah, on
came
the
short?
800, yes.
On that-
yeah, I
on
did
that,
over 260 at that stage.
Jeez.
When he lost control of the car, yeah, and hit the tires, the barrier, and the car flipped.
When did the blue van arrive?
The blue bakkie came in, I would say, around about 96, 97, around about there. And that's also where we started with experiencing with the twin cam engines.
The red one.
The red one,
Okay.
yeah.
And that's when shit hit the fan, right?
Yeah.
That's when things started.
That's when shit hits the fan, yeah. That's when we started to realize what's happening. Looking at that stage, Hannes Minnar, Abushai Murray with the Cosworths, those were the guys that were street racing. And we always went to street races, my dad and myself. And look,
Where were the street races predominantly? I know you mentioned
Soutpansweg or the PMP Highway. We never really raced down Voortrekker Road because that was too dangerous. It was too dangerous. It was either Soutpansweg because there was a rowboard down the road, and if it turns green, you come. And it's about 600 or 800 meters that you can go before you need to tap off for the next rowboard. And that was
the guys still race there?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think the main place I go is Voortrekker Road.
But exactly.
Yeah, and that's so dangerous. I wouldn't
very.
go there at all. I won't go there at all.
Did you win any money?
I've won a lot of money recently, but not back in the day. Back in the day, it was just for fun. We'll see who's the fastest there or whoever. They will always come to my dad and ask him, we want to race. And he just tells me, there you go. And that was lekker. It wasn't lekker for the older guys, for me to be, for beating them. But it was fun.
But did you get involved in any fights?
There was a lot of fights over the years. But yeah, we won't talk too much about that.
Going through the motions with your dad and building all these things, what motor did you prefer?
Definitely, look, we haven't done what we could have done, as you have seen with the 1400 today. But at that stage, we thought that was the best route to go.
Twin cam?
Yeah, it was making easier power.
Aspirated, eh?
Yes,
Yeah.
aspirated. It was making easy power for less. So that's why we started to go that route and staying there. And like I said, on the 1600 side, we came to a point where we made about, in the region of that time, at about 400 horsepower. That was a lot for that.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And can you give any secrets away?
Look, there's not much secrets now. That twin cam 1800 is now all over the board.
When you say 800, you put a 7A, right?
7A
bottom end?
Yes, 7A bottom
Twin
end.
cam, 4AG head?
4AG on top, yeah.
Okay.
Look, that design that we've done plenty moons back is all over. I can tell you now, if we open any other 1800, it's going to be a copy and paste of my engine. Because my dad has built a few of those engines for people all over the country. And what they're going to do? They're going to strip it and open it up. There's Dupina who sold his car to Zanke, that Bakkie. As far as I've heard, his blue car is also sold to another guy in some place. And there's also two spare engines that went with that car. So what are you going to, what do you
Yeah, people naturally just going to open up, see what they've built, give it to mechanics. They're going to copy and paste.
Copy and paste.
So you guys were the pioneers of the whole 7A movement.
I would say so, yes. Yeah, I would say.
Was
we were
there
the
no
pioneers.
other 7As on the street back in those days?
When we were racing back in the day, no.
So we started the MAG 2000.
2000.
And I think a couple of issues down the road, we wanted to do a Nissan 1400 shootout at ODI.
Yes, I remember that.
And Mark, the owner or the operator at ODI, told me, you guys must invite the Jordaans.
Yeah.
And I was like, who the hell's the Jordaans?
Yeah,
and he says, no, they are very quick. You must invite the Jordaans. I'm like, okay. So we phoned the Jordaans and we said, listen, would you guys like to come shoot out? We're going to put it in the magazine.
Yeah.
I think you guys won. I think you guys
No,
won.
they did
I
win.
think
They
we
did
did,
win.
yeah.
They did win. Yes.
Yeah, I think we did. And that wasn't the only shootout that you had with the 1400s. There was a few more that we've won.
Yeah, is it?
Yes.
When you get to 50, your memory starts getting hazy. So
100% right.
okay.
You need to take note and read it before you
How
come
many
in.
Bakkies were at that ODI shootout?
Quite a few. But before I get there, I did bring issue 30 with me.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
issue 30.
Okay, so I just want to bring it out, show it up to the viewers.
Hey, that was great cards.
We've got the trump cards. Okay.
That was great.
And on there is Twin Can Turbo tuned by Jordaan. This was in 2004, huh? You ran a 10.09 at 228.
Back then.
See?
And at the back, they could sign it.
Did I sign it?
No, that's why you got to sign it. Here's my pen. Can you please sign it?
We didn't get our own copies.
Please sign the corresponding card. So
Hey, that's an honor to sign, Scott. I've got one at my house as well. It's in my bar
Yeah.
with all my other pictures.
You say 2004.
It says
10 point what?
10 dead, 10.0.
10. Yes, that's
And
flying.
there's the magic signature of note.
Run us through that van that ran at 10 dead. I mean,
Yeah, look, this bakkie here is the bakkie that was still running on side rafts, which is the Lotus. I'm speaking under correction. I think we had 45s on, not 40s. We were one of those guys that had 45s on.
and turbocharged.
Turbocharged with nitrous. This bakkie was still 16 with the nitrous.
How much nitrous were you pushing through there? Big.
Yeah. Look, at the stage, experimenting time. with
Yeah, I'm about to say
nitrous.
2004.
Yeah.
You guys were still experimenting with the
Yes.
whole NOS, the whole
With-
turbo thing.
Yes, with a lot of stuff there, yeah. So I would say 150 horse nitrous we ran, yeah.
And was that on a big turbo or a small turbo?
Average
did you-
size turbo, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a T4, which were big for that time, I think.
Yes.
Did you cut your teeth at ODI? Did you like break a lot of motors and a lot of trial and error?
Look, definitely we've broken a lot of motors because it's trial and error. You want to go faster. Look, back at that time, not this time, before that, you remember there was only this type of corner rods you could have used. We hadn't had any import stuff. And this type of vehicle pistons that we used. So we did break a lot of stuff.
No, we were
Up
very
un-
limited to performance.
Limited,
Yeah.
yes.
yeah.
Up until you hear, but yeah, this guy's got Cunningham rods or Pelter rods or whatever the case may be, and then you're trying to buy it and you save up to buy it because it was a lot of money back in the day. Not as expensive as now.
No,
Now it's crazy.
Terrible.
It's crazy.
But what
crazy.
management were you running on there? to
No
get
management. That was
Nothing.
Cops. That was
Just
cops.
Cops.
That? Wow.
Yeah, but my
Crazy, yeah.
best time with cops was a 9.9. I did 9.9 at West Bank. Yeah,
What size tire?
and that's the one that you issued as well.
Okay, what size
The
tire?
26.
26.
2610.
But
50.
now you've gone fuel tech on your recent bakkie
Yeah.
and you've played around with carbs. Which era of racing do you prefer? I mean, you got a 9.9 with carbs,
Yeah.
and now you're sitting with a 7-second bakkie with fuel tech. Which is less complicated?
Look,
You know?
cops were easy to tune because we grew up with that, and my dad knew what he was doing. He had a box full of like this big, full of jetting and Venturis and all of that groceries that we had to use back in the day. And it's not difficult if you've got the knowledge what you're doing. You know you need to do this to increase this or that to do this. It's not that difficult, but I'll prefer the management.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yes, these things are complicated, man.
Not really. It's
You
really
needed
complicated.
you needed the tuner at a track these days with you to race your car.
Richard, Annie's a very complicated woman.
Shut your face.
Where's your laptop? Maybe you must just set the boost setting right.
You ran your car with Dictator and did a 7.
7.8.
Well, why the change to fuel tech?
Look, at that stage, I wanted to increase my boost pressure. And I had Dictator involved with it, and I fitted at that stage different map sensors for me. But it wasn't reading correctly. If I want to tune the car and you check on the block, let's say the block shows, the car shows it's boosting 1.5, but it's only in 1 bar boost. So how am I going to fine tune the car at the track if the boost is not correctly on the display? You hear what I'm saying? That was the issue we had.
Yeah. These new management systems offer more fail-safe opportunities than what the old school
The basic level management for me best is Dictator, to be honest with you. I've got Dictator in my Lotus as well. It's easy to tune, easy to maintain. If I must build a car for anybody now that's got a budget, I will fit Dictator system because that's a system that works.
Can we touch on boost now that you've mentioned boost? How much boost did you want?
A lot. A lot.
Okay, so what were you boosting in the side draft days?
Side of days, we looked at about 2 bar with the nitrous.
Okay.
Yeah, it went up to about 2 bar. Yeah,
You ran a 7.8 or 9
Yeah,
in
7.8.
2018.
18. Yeah,
Okay, what boost was that?
that was. Yeah, it was a considerable amount of boost.
Yeah, well, give us a figure.
But
give
it
us a
wasn't
figure.
limit. It wasn't my limit. 3.5 bar boost.
What?
3.5.
Yeah.
And it wasn't your limit.
I haven't seen my limit yet because I haven't had the time or the track or
Or
the
the
money
balls.
or the balls.
I'm just about
To
say-
explode it, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Sitting here saying you haven't reached your limit, what would your wildest limit be?
Look, dynos is different, so we're going to work on track, time, and speed. Let's work on speed. I would say the high 290s would be pushing it, 300. Look, Dupi ran at 290 something here, but his car is a bit lighter, but I'm sure we'll be able to get to that.
What boost are you doing? Would you need to do that?
Look, if I can make a comparison, let's say we're making 1,100 on 3.5 bar boost, I would need to make 1,300 on 4 bar boost. So that's my aim.
In that era
Yeah.
of when you're running touching nines, who are you chasing?
Look, back in the day when Marius Lloyd had his orange bucket, that was my idol with Louis Lima, but those two were my idol too. That's the times I want to run because, you know, Marius also did crazy times at the Rainbow at that stage. I think he ran 9.7s at the end of it.
It was the Emotions orange.
That orange bucky, yeah. But that bucky for that time was flipping fast. Yeah.
On a balmy Saturday night in Pretoria North, you and your dad would always talk about the next step, going quicker, trying to chase Louis, chase Marius.
Yeah, that was
But were they also on carbs, sorry? Were they also carbs?
No, Marius said back in the day was on fuel injection. Yeah.
And Louis as well?
Yeah, he also ran fuel injection.
Yeah, but Louis was using about 1,000 shots of nitrous.
But yeah, we also tried that full focus system one day there at my dad's house. Told him, well, that's the next step. We've got one fogger in the boost pipe. Let's go 4 foggers, the direct port, because at that stage you can Google stuff, you know what I'm saying? And that's where you learn stuff. Talk about that, well, this is what these are running, this is what we can do, let's try it. And he fitted the 4 fogger system and he built his own plate there. I can't remember what he called it because he did only one jet for fuel and this, and then it split out of that block for the 4 foggers. Okay, well, we went down to the highway and we tested it, and I just felt it like that it was a lot of power. And I hit second, third, fourth, and it threw 3 rods out of the block. And you just saw parts flying all over. That time when I used to test the car, my dad would drive after or behind me with his bucky. And you just he just saw parts flying everywhere. Oh. Yeah, look, we liked to work or try it yourself, because if it works, you can praise yourself, you know what I'm saying? Somebody else does it and you're fast, how do you really feel about it? You here because you spend a lot of money, or you here because it's your knowledge?
Back then, they always used to talk about the Jordaans. Everyone was chasing the Jordaans.
Yeah,
and everyone wanted to know what the Jordaans were doing and what were the Jordaans racing and where were they racing and how we're going to beat the Jordaans, because the Jordaans at the time was such a monumental force.
I remember.
You guys still are. I mean, if you guys arrive at an event, let's go watch, because the Jordaans
I remember that you guys never used to arrive at an event with track bite. And I sat on the start line back in my 20s and I saw your dad and he was throwing coke all over the place. I'm thinking, this toppie is wasting his dope on tires. What the hell is he throwing this coke around? And then I realized that was just your guys' thing.
Yeah, it worked.
You know, and no one picked up on that. And everyone just still came with track bite. And up until today, I have not seen anyone
use coke.
Come with coke to the track. That was phenomenal.
Can we just say it's Coca-Cola?
Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
It could have been a mix. You don't know. It could
Special
have been a
mix.
little bit of clippies in there. You never know.
Could have been something special my dad brewed up.
Yeah.
I've been once or twice in a Nissan Champ. My first Nissan Champ experience was, I was young, man. I was driving my dad's Bantam and the car broke down. between Boksburg and Edenvale, there's this highway. I think it's the N3. It's N3, yeah. Goes down. And back then we had the AA. Remember the AA, the yellow buckies? That old toppy arrived with his AA bucky. He says, "Yeah, fork, hierdie car is forked. I'll take you home. We must get a roll back. I'll take you home. Get in my van. I'll take you home." And down that hill, we touched 160. And I thought I was going to die. Okay. Now, you mofos, your highest is a 284.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
I think the time that you spend in that moment is too short for you to really realize what's going on, to be honest with you. Because it doesn't feel that fast. Doesn't feel that fast. Because you've got your kit on, you've got your helmet on, and you're pretty much just focused on the line. Nah? This is what I want to tell you now. Because I didn't feel the speed. But the other day, about a year back, I took my bakkie on the highway, dropped it off the trailer, because I'm trying to run in my engine. My dad's behind me, and I'm driving my bakkie on the highway, running it in. And we went down the highway, it's about 40 km, and he turned around, and I said to him, "I'm going to give it now, I want to feel it." And I almost shit my pants. I only did on my GPS 260, and I tapped off. Because at that stage, when I realized I'm doing that speed, the front windows was that plexiglass, or what do you call it? And that whole thing was doing this, and it was deforming in front of me, and I thought the roof was coming off. Now, what about if you're doing 280? I don't even see that at the track.
Jeez.
And the noises in that car. You've got almost no helmet on.
Yeah, different kettle of fish,
Have you had any scary experiences where you thought, okay, we're going to lose it now?
Yeah, look, the scariest part that I had, I think you guys were there, Annie, when I went on the quarter mile and my bakkie went so skewed that the door popped out. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes.
It was there almost at the 300 meter.
Where?
There at Talton.
Talton.
You remember that?
Yes.
I think that was my scariest moment. Because I was skewed, like I was looking at you guys, and when I left the accelerator to get it back in it, the chassis flexed so much, the door went open, and I went back on the power to get it straight again. Yeah, that's why I was the most scared of my car. That was silly.
What made you chop the roof like that?
We thought we were going to gain some time.
Did you?
No, didn't gain anything, nothing.
It looked cool though.
It looks cool, yeah. A lot of work went into that by old Gordon, that Paas was on.
Yeah.
He did a lot of work on the roof and stuff and Doopie's bakkie, but we didn't gain anything. We thought we were going to gain, but we didn't gain.
Did you think you were going more aerodynamic?
We thought so, yeah, but nothing. We couldn't see anything even on your time.
What was the most significant change that you'd done to the bakkie that gave you a big jump in performance?
Look, me and Leon has always been competitors to each other. I've been chasing his time, he's been chasing Leon Deploy. Yeah. At that stage, he took off my national record, which were 840 something.
Who ran that?
I ran an 8419, and Leon took the record with 8412 or something. It was very close, but he took the record off. And then my dad sold the bakkie, because we were a bit on a heavy action there between me and my dad, and he sold it to Doopie at that stage, and that's when the record was kept by Leon. And one day Doopie phoned me up and said, "Listen, don't you want to buy the bakkie back?" I said, "Yes, Doopie, what do you want for the bakkie?" And he told me the figure, and I said, "Listen, let me try and make a plan." At that stage, FNB just came out with that revolving loan stuff.
Okay.
You remember that?
Yeah.
So I phoned the bank, I said, "This is what I need, and can you give it to me?"
This is what I need.
Yeah, this is what I need.
This race car.
Yeah. I said, "This is what I need, money-wise. Can you do it for me?" I'm not kidding you. 30 minutes later, money's in my account. I phoned Doopie, said, "I'm coming to fetch it." Took the bakkie out to the racetrack. It wasn't fast. I did like an 8.7. There was a different turbo on and stuff.
Wasn't fast.
Yeah. So I started to do my mojo there on the bakkie, and I did a few stuff to get my record back. And we also, how can I say, incorporated a few of my own designs in the cylinder head, but my dad still done the work. I said, "Dad, this is what I want." "No, but it's not going to work." I said, "Dad, just do this for me." And we've done that on a cylinder head, and I've went back to the track a few times, and I went down to an 8.1. I did the 8.1 when the bakkie was still white. And then after that, I went down to 7.9. So that was the most
Sure.
jump I had.
Significant.
Yeah, from a 8.7 to a 8.1.
That's incredible.
Yes, and the speed went
we
up.
need-
And that was just because you were messing around with the cylinder head.
And also the turbo
Yeah.
charger, because like, it was too big and I had to do a few things here and there, but it was mostly on cylinder head.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yes.
What size turbo are you running?
Now, look, I had a Bochhorner, a big turbo, but I went now to precision, so I still need to sort it out. It's much smaller, but it can flow much more air. So I still need to test it. If I can tell you on the same dyno, turbo to turbo, I'm making 100 horsepower more.
Wow.
But is it going to be on the track the same? I don't know.
Okay, listen. So, all jokes aside, you know, we here as a council of elders, what are we going to do to chase Stuppies and Leon de Proy's times?
It's going to be difficult financially wise, but I'm going to try my best with what I've got. Look, Leon's time is not going to be easy. That time is most probably going to stand there for a while.
What time is that?
That 7.63 did.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fast. That's pretty
flying.
much fast, yeah. So
And then he did that at Tolton, eh?
yeah. So I'm gonna try my best, but it's not gonna happen now. Recently, like I said, I've done the other turbocharger, but I still need to get the car to work again. After the last time I ran with Butler, and then when I went to that sand pit, my car was never the same again because I didn't spend that much effort in it anymore. At that stage, I was going it. I want to be fast. Now,
Are you going
next
to be
month
doing?
is another time.
Are you going to do something special for Tolton's event coming up on the 30th? You think?
I'm just going to take it out and try it
And see what
see
you've
what
got.
it does. See if the
Okay.
suspension works right, because Midway and Tolton's traction is totally different.
You use Midway to
Test.
to test the launch, get
Yeah.
everything running off the
Yes.
line properly.
Yes, Harvey's always willing there to assist me, or tell me, yeah, Rich, yeah, let's sort it out and come. Yeah, he's always willing. Yeah.
Performance parts wise, you've gone to Fuel Tech. What else have you done to the car? That's
Only thing that I've recently done is fitted new tires at the back, which is on the car now.
How expensive are tires now
it's
compared
crazy.
to back then in the day?
Look, when Cowboy built my rear suspension, he brought in a set of tires for me. That was like 13,000 rand. And that's, let's say, call it 3 years back
For two.
for two. It
Yes.
was 13 and a half. Now I paid for a set 30 grand,
Size?
31, 13, 15s. Yeah, so I'm very, very stingy to spin it on the burnout box.
Yeah.
Everybody asks me, why don't you spin it from here to there? I said, you
Yeah.
don't have the money for that. You just spin it in the burnout box.
Yes.
Let's
like
talk about
this.
the two guys that are knocking on the sevens. One's
Yeah.
Ricardo, and one's Arno. Well, Arno is
Yeah,
really
no,
ran
no,
seven
yeah,
once.
it's 7, 8, yeah.
Yeah,
Also
ran
it's a 7, 8.
once. Ricardo is also doing very well.
Yeah.
This class is got to be on fire in 2025, I think.
It's definitely going to be on fire. Ricardo and them are spending a lot of time, and Martin, look, I know Martin for very long, but they're spending time on the car. Look, they're doing the sorting out of the car development. They are not sitting back and hope the car's fast. They are there. They want to run
Homework.
fast. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to do very, very quick times, in the future now. Especially when they go to Dalton now. Their bucky's quick.
Yeah.
I saw the draggy picture you showed me of the 60 foot where they did a 1.14. That's pretty fast.
Majority of them are 4 AGEs.
No. The majority is 4 HGs.
Ricardo is a
It's a
C18.
Nissan C18, yeah.
Arno is a 3RZ, I think.
Yes.
There's not one Honda bucky, you can notice that.
Oh, shut your face.
Look, I was waiting for Quentin to come, but that didn't finalize, unfortunately, because I thought by myself that car's going to be pretty much quick.
Yeah.
But I'm not
So
sure.
Ricardo's bought his new car. Bought the
Yes.
chassis. He bought the chassis.
Yeah, bought the chassis. I'm not sure what the outcome is going to be, but that did tell me a few stuff that I want to do to the car, but I'm not going to talk out.
Yeah, for sure.
That's there, baby.
Yeah, for sure. What is your biggest learning curve with this bucky?
Look, in the beginning when we did in 8-second barrier, in that barrier, we used to break gearboxes, where we used to use Jericho gearboxes. That was only limited to that horsepower. So that was, how can I say, the issue for me.
What are they limited to?
Jericho, they set 1,000 horsepower, but I broke that gearbox every time I went to Dalton, even either second or third.
And
year.
who fixes Jericho?
Myself.
Are you doing it yourself? Okay.
Because Dupi, that guy in Pinetown, that guy made us a box full of gears. Ken, yeah. Box full of gears and dogs and stuff. So I stripped it out, fixed it back, put it back in the car. But that was my limit. Then I went to Liberty. Best thing I've ever done. Because there's no really maintenance on that gearbox. You forget about it. So learning curve, I would say gearbox-wise, yeah. Engines, I didn't really break engines in the last, to be honest with you, in the last 7 years, that bucky's been mine after I bought it back from Dupi, 8 years. I've never touched with broken engine.
Yeah.
Touch wood.
There was a few instances at Dalton where your front wheels
Picked up
picked up quite a few times.
Yeah.
How did you eliminate that problem? No, you already had wheelie bars. It's just
They bend the wheelie bar, they break the brackets off the diff. So we had to improve our design on the diff and
did
stuff.
you have to go down a bit on boost as well, or what?
No. Look, the fastest I've run my bucky with the 7.8 was one boost straight through. If I drop the clutch, it boosts what it is. And if I leave the petrol, it's what it is.
So you don't have progressive boost, or you don't have.
That was my fastest time was 10, one straight boost. Leaf springs, it used to pick up a lot, but you get used to it. I didn't even see that anymore.
Oh, so it was just like,
Yeah, I didn't
really?
even see that anymore. The only time that I can remember was the first time we picked up that high was at West Bank, when we almost scraped the back bumpers on the tar. That was the highest I went, and that was really blue skies.
But you're just sitting there. You're not activating. You're not doing anything. You're just holding that steering wheel, just waiting to come down.
Steering wheel, one hand, other hand on the gearbox. and
Okay.
keep going.
What's your 60 foot like?
60 foot at this stage is not good on my bucky. I'm not happy with it because there is still, how can I say, a few glitches, which were the old tires. I fitted new tires now, so it should be going into the 1.1s. I've never done 1.1s. I've done 1.20s a lot. So I've got still room to improve there, but my bucky is pretty much strong after the 60 foot. My 60 foot to the 200 meter is where I really,
Come
that
alive.
bucky goes, come alive, yeah. We'll see what it does in speed-wise, but yeah. I've done my fastest exit on the 200 was a 232, and that was at Dalton with the 7.8 in 2018.
Your car's changed though now,
A
color
lot.
wise,
Yeah.
management wise. What else?
Suspension-wise,
Suspension-wise?
because I went almost from the leaf spring to four-link.
Have you gone lighter?
A what?
Lighter? Have you shed some weight?
No, yeah, it's a lot lighter, but it's still not light. If I weigh the car with me, it's about 1,060 kgs, which is not that light. Still a ton
Sure.
that you need to move around.
Yeah.
That's heavy, yeah?
Yeah, I know Dupi's car that time when it was still a GX with him in the car, they were under 900 kgs.
Oh, you wanted to just sell your van, huh?
Yeah.
What happened there? Just
Yeah, young, that's more life pressure, depression, stuff like that. You know, when you get older, stuff are getting heavy on the shoulders. So you need to sometimes think what you're going to do and how you're going to get through this. And at a point I thought, well, that's the thing that's standing here. Maybe I must just sell it. But after a month or so, I said, no, man, you're fucking stupid. Why do you want to do that? It's part of my life.
How are you going to get it back now? Because for
Yes.
you to let it go now,
We'll never able to afford
the
it.
the money that you need now to get it back would be greater,
Yeah, it will.
you know?
Even if you want to try and build one, I won't be able to afford it at all. Because we've been buying this over plenty years of racing. For me to just buy a bucky now and try to build it will never work for me. I will not have the funds to do it.
I mean, he's been building his Honda now since he was 14 years old. And he's been buying
So that's
parts.
not like 36 years.
He's been buying-
I will cancel Christmas today.
He's been buying parts and bringing parts in, when we get the budget to do so. And he's got a cam
Yeah, I've got a set of cams, which I bought in 2014 for like $900. 2014 was okay. Now like $3,000, $3,000.
Now they're $3,000, and you think to yourself, like, looking at where it's gone, would you ever get back into it if you sold everything? It will be
I don't think
terrible.
you'll be able to.
No.
So I told her the other day, I says, these cams now cost $3,000. So she converted it to rand. She says, take that shit out and we're going to hang it
In the bar.
in the bar and just look at it.
Look at it.
So when are you going to finish it now?
Frau!
What year?
Bloody shit's expensive, eh?
Yeah, that's a problem.
My problem with the Honda is that over the past years it's gone to a few people to get fixed, the body and all that stuff. But they took what was in the gearbox. The bits of the gearbox inside went missing.
Gee. And
But
you had straight cut
The casing was always on the motor, so the car went. So the other day we emptied.
So by the time he realized, and he was fiddling, and you don't, where's the parts of my
Bloody-
gearbox?
That's like, the other day I told him I'm going to sell this car now because I'm not going to pay $3,000. There we go.
To get it in.
$3,000 for a gear set.
Was that the imported set that you had in?
No, I had a
Ken box. Ken straight.
Ken
That
gear.
was strong.
But it's just the principle, and shit's expensive, eh?
No, parts is definitely expensive. Still, what I'm trying to do is still use local stuff. I don't have imported cams in my car. I've got cut cams that we cut here by this guy or that guy.
If you put a Honda engine in your car, I will give you my cams. And let's try run a 7.2.
If you put on the motor.
Yeah, if
you go to the dark side.
Where do you see the industry in 5 years?
To be honest with you, I don't see a future in drag racing, especially in the bigger cars. It's all this PlayStation cars that's now the racetrack. So the guy that's got the daily driven car that also is fast today, they are fast those
10
cars.
seconds,
10
9
seconds,
seconds.
9 seconds. Those are the guys that's going to be at the racetrack. These vehicles that I've got and all the other guys got kept in the garages, I don't think there's really a future for it. I hope there is.
Fabricated cars.
Yes.
So the rumor is that if you want a 8-second Audi TT RS or one of these PlayStation cars, it's $1 million.
To spend on the car,
Yeah.
To spend on it, yes.
If you want an 8-second Audi
Performance
TT,
side.
performance side. If you want that RS3 to run on 8, you're gonna blow $1 million.
Easily. And then you must remember, you're also paying on 1.5, 2 million for that car, a TTRS, depending what you're buying, if it's new or second hand.
You dipped your toes in the frontal drive by building a Mazda, a Bantam Bucky.
But let's go back in time. I had a silver EGI as well, a 323. The time when Satish and them only went, you can ask him. When we ran at West Bank, he did like 11 ones, 11 twos myself. My Mazda ran 11 1, 11 twos.
Yeah.
So we were quite, how can I say, into each other at that stage. That's why I started knowing Satish, or know who he is. You hear what I'm saying? And you is at West Bank. So I started to like Mazdas there. And well, I've sold the car, and after a few years, me and Jan went to a birthday of some of his friends. And I came in, there was a Bantam Bucky under the tree, but it was broken. It was a scrap Bucky. And I had a few lekker doppen, and I said, I'm going to buy this Bucky, and I'm going to do 300 with it. And they all, whatever. So I took it home, took it into my 2x3 garage, stripped the car. I started building this car from scratch, from bottom to top. And built the Mazda motor myself, which I've tried doing stroking and stuff on it, like we've done on the 1800s, which didn't work. I blew up 3 engines, and I thought to myself, I'm going to build a standard 2-liter now. This 2.2 liter is not going to work for me. I'm going to build this 2-liter. I've done that car, it ran properly. I brought a decent Borg Warner turbo in for that Bucky, because my aim was to make 700 horsepower on the wheels. And my dad said, you will never make it because that's more than my Bucky is making. And I said, well, that's what I'm going to do. And I brought the turbo in and I looked at it and said, myself, thought, geez, this thing's a bit too big at the back. You know, the exhaust side is so big. I said, it's not going to work. Well, I said, oh, I'm going to try it. And I put that car back to, what can I say, I'm finishing up building it, start to test it again. And went to the dyno to Johan, because Johan dynoed like Bucky. And we did it on the dyno, and we made like on 2.4 Babu 780 horsepower. It was pretty strong, that car. And at the end of the day, I did the 286 on the kilometer with it.
Yes.
But still wheel spinning in fifth.
Is that at ODI?
At ODI, yeah. Because that day also, Skalk Hartzenberg, he was at the kilometer, he was standing and looking at me. And he told me when I stopped, he said, your car is still doing wow, in fifth. I said, I know. And I put some traction bars into the car, but my limit was the gearbox. I didn't know that at that stage, because it's the same box I had in my silver car, which never broke. But that was 450 horsepower equals,
Jeez.
let's call it roughly street-driven 650.
Yeah.
And when I added the traction bars and stuff, every time I hooked fifth gear off. And I said, no, I'm done with this baby now. But Mazda power...
Did you ever consider putting a Mazda motor into your van?
No, I will never go to a Mazda in my bakkie. But I've got a special place for a Mazda engine.
Okay.
Yes, because I had that same bakkie, I converted to aspirated. Well, I did an aspirated Mazda engine. Full car with potentias at Audi, at the 13.3, at the 167. That was a full car with a 2-liter aspirated, but also worked engine methanol. And that's not slow
No.
for a full car.
Yeah. Jeez.
You did a hectic speed at Audi with that thing. What did you do?
286.
286.
But I must tell you, I did put my GPS in my car. I think I still got a photo of it. Went to test it on the highway before I fitted the traction bars, just to test it. And I went at crazy speed because I could feel the cars all floating on the highway. And I said, this is too fast, let me back off. And I went on my GPS and I did a 309 in it.
Yo.
Yes. Yeah, so that's the fastest I've driven that car on the highway.
Did you light a smoke afterwards?
No, I didn't. No. I opened a beer.
Do you have any race day superstitions? Do you have a certain pair of jocks that you put on?
Yeah, don't call your times before you've run it. Because I've seen it plenty times. I call a time in my head and you get disappointed, you know. Rather just go there and put it down and come back and you see in the faces of the people what's going on.
This weekend, that Gen 4, I must tell you. Previously running a 7.8 this time around. Let's see what we get this time around. Running a 7.826. Exit speed of 283. Just
Baie dankie om hier te kom. How do you say it?
Nee, hier te gaan.
Thanks for sharing some of your experiences with this bakkie that you and your dad have built over the years. It's brought us a lot of joy. Thanks for being a great icon. I think.
Thank you.
I don't think you understand how inspirational you are to a lot of people.
So ek wil maar net vir my pa sê, Piet Jordaan, dankie vir al jou kennis, Dad. Jy het my alles geleer. Ek's lief vir jou.